That's right, we have some huge VTuber drama which is happening right now, and that is really rare because the VTuber community is usually very peaceful, and most of the time when they do have some drama, it's mostly just a nothing burger, but I guess that's kind of every single drama on the internet. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but for the VTuber community, I mean absolutely nothing happened. It'll be something as small as a popular VTuber said that she didn't like this video game, and a lot of people are extremely angry, and by a lot of people we just mean one person on Twitter, so who really cares at the end of the day? But not this drama. This is the other section of VTuber drama, and that is, the drama is so bad it just completely ruins someone's career, and that is the type of drama we are talking about today, because man, the VTuber community is just not having a good time, especially on Twitter. Now before I get into the drama, I need to introduce you the two characters in this whole situation. One of them is being Mafumafu. He is an extremely popular Japanese idol. Me and a lot of other people probably ended up fighting him because of his music. You're probably just scrolling on YouTube and then you get recommended one of his covers or one of his original songs. Then you go and listen to it and you're like, wow, even though I have absolutely no clue what he's saying, the music is extremely good. And when I mean he is big, he is extremely popular in Japan, especially with the females, because he has a very big female audience who just absolutely simp for him and love them with all of their heart. And yes, this is very important information. And the other character that we have is a popular Hololive VTuber, and I am probably going to get this name extremely wrong, so prepare to cringe. You wouldn't believe it, I messed up her name. It's Rushia, and watch that also be wrong. That'll be really embarrassing. Now, this is a Hololive VTuber who ended up completely losing her career because she might have a boyfriend. Yes, that is something that actually happens. I know that does sound like something I made up, but she was streaming with one of her members, and then she ended up getting a message from Mafumafu. People thought that she was dating him, and then her career just completely ended. She basically got her contract terminated, but she did ended up reincarnated twice, and if you don't know what that means, basically in the VTuber community, if you just completely lose your career or you can't be your VTuber model anymore, you can basically reincarnate where you just turn into someone else, where you're basically just the same person, but you're just going under a different brand. So a good example is, instead of me being called Lua to the Moon, I'll just be called someone on the sun, but it will just still be me, if that makes any sense. And she ended up doing this twice. I think first she was a VTuber in VShoujo, and then she reincarnated again into Mikoneko, which I think that's who she's currently right now. Only in the VTuber community, one person can be known as 3 different names. These are the 2 people in the story, and not so long ago, Mafumafu ended up releasing this tweet on his Twitter, which absolutely just rocked the world, because he ended up exposing a lot of things about himself, Rushida, and that is that these 2 were in a relationship, and they weren't just boyfriend and girlfriend. No, they were married, and they were also divorced. So I'm basically going to go through all the things he posted and basically just tell you what's going on. But before we start, I do want to say something first. For the rest of this video, I will be calling Rushira Asan, and I'll be doing that for 3 reasons. 1, in Mafumafu's statement, that's what he calls her. 2, we don't 100% know if this is the person that Mafumafu is talking about, even though there's a lot of evidence and there's basically an extremely high chance that yes, this is her. We still don't know that yet, so all of this is allegedly. And 3, which I'm going to be honest, is the most important reason. It is just way more easier for me just to say Asan than just to completely keep on messing up her name over and over again, and then I get made fun of in the comment section, and it hurts my feelings. So those are the reasons why. So I hope you're okay with that. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. It's my video. So now I'm going to go over this whole tweet that Mafumafu ended up releasing. I'm not going to read you the whole thing. I'm only going to tell you the most important parts so you know what's going on and you have a breakdown of the whole situation. Now, the first thing that Mafumafu goes over is telling his fans that he was in a relationship, and not just a normal boring boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. No, he was married with someone else and also divorced. Now I know what you're thinking. How's that really that much of a big deal? Who really cares? Well, you're probably saying that because you are not a VTuber fan. In that community, they have a really big problem with their fans being way too parasocially attached to their creators. And this is a problem that's not just in the VTuber community, it's kind of just going everywhere. But the VTuber community is basically the mega evolved version of it. It is the worst type of parasocial relationship you will ever see. Again, it is very common for VTubers to lose their career because it gets announced that they are in a relationship with someone else and their fans just absolutely turn on them. So I'm positive a lot of Mafumafu fans, all of the girls who simp for him, are probably not happy to hear that information, and that's probably the worst thing that they heard in their whole life. They are just probably breaking down. So that is an extremely big deal. And he also talked about just how quickly this relationship started and ended. He ended up saying that he started his relationship with Asan at summer of 2021, and the relationship ended the following year at June 2022. So this relationship barely even lasts before they already ended. I guess they just speed run all of the relationship drama that could happen in the span of just 1 year. That is really impressive. So the first thing that he ended up bringing up is that Asan was extremely paranoid in the relationship, and she was really scared that she was getting cheated on. This was something so bad that she will actually send him hundreds of messages every single day on Discord just to basically see what he's doing all the time. I didn't even know one person could send that much messages every single day. She was actually so scared that they both ended up coming up with a plan that basically Mafumafu is going to be on Discord 24/7 to make sure that nothing fishy is going on. He ended up describing it as he was in front of his PC basically every single day. He will reply to every single message that she sends immediately just to prove to her that he's not cheating and that he's a very good, wholesome boyfriend. This is something that I see happen a lot, not to this extreme, someone sending one person 100 message every single day. But you probably heard a lot of stories about this happening in relationships, and it's just something that I don't understand. I think that if you're going inside of a relationship with someone, you should be able to trust the person enough that they're not doing anything weird or going out and just completely cheating on you. If this is something that you're really this scared of, you're clearly not mature enough to be in a relationship. But I guess I also shouldn't really be surprised that something like this ended up happening, since they ended up falling in love so fast. It seems like they were just dating for a couple of months, and then automatically they were like, let's just go to the next step. It's time for us to go and get married. So I guess they weren't able to build that trust. But that's just my theory. Next up, he also ended up talking about how Asan wasn't really that nice to him and was basically just harassing him, saying extremely mean comments, and just not really being the best person. This is something that Mafumafu ended up saying, that he was basically getting morally harassed by Asan, and this was the original reason why he ended up saying that he wanted to go and file a divorce. But it looks like Asan was able to convince him that, hey, maybe we shouldn't just abandon ship immediately. We should just make the relationship last a little bit longer and see if we could just fix things. Which, me reading this got me extremely angry, because this is also something that you just see way too much on the internet and then also in the real world. Just someone who is in a really bad relationship and they're just being absolutely abused by their significant other, and at the time they're just not able to realize it, which is just something that I can just completely understand, because you really like this person, you're clearly in a relationship with them, so you would just think to yourself that the situation can be fixed, it's not really that bad, but then the mistreatment just keeps on going over and over again until you ended up reaching a breaking point. So I'm just so grateful that this guy was able to get out of this absolutely awful situation. The next thing that I ended up bringing up is that when they first got married, Mafumafu ended up buying a house for both of them to live at. He ended up doing this for multiple reasons. One of them is probably that will probably ease her stress a little bit, since it seems like Asan is extremely scared of him cheating. Obviously, if they're living in the same house, she doesn't need to worry about that at all. So he ended up buying the house completely by himself. It looks like he got everything prepared just for Asan to come out and say that, I don't want to live with you, which is probably one of the most biggest red flags of all time. If you straight up marry someone and you buy a house and you're like, man, I can't wait to live with my absolutely amazing wife, my real life waifu, and she just straight up comes up to you and go like, actually no, I will want to live alone in the house that you paid for. I mean, that's automatically a bad sign. But it looks like at the time, Mafumafu was just okay with it, and he just let it happen, and he ended up living in a rented apartment. And you wouldn't believe it, the story keeps on getting worse, because it seems like during the relationship, we could clearly see that it wasn't really that good. It ended up reaching a point where Aeson just kept on making fun of Mafumafu on social media all the time, and she ended up doing it so much that a lawyer actually had to get involved to basically tell her to stop doing that. Like, hey, can you please stop making fun of your husband? This is not really looking so good. But that didn't even stop her. She still kept on going, so she was just on a mission. I don't know what she was trying to solve, but it seems like no one was able to stop this. And after that whole situation, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and he finally had enough, and he decided to file for divorce on May 2022. The relationship seems to end. But, shocking to no one, the situation gets even more worse, because one of the most biggest plot twists of the century ended up happening is that during this whole process of them getting divorced, Mafumafu ended up realizing that Aeson was cheating on him. That's an anime betrayal that no one ever expected. And also, I guess that kind of explains the reason why she was so scared of just her being cheated on constantly, because she was cheating on him. Actually, no, me thinking about that, that just makes absolutely no sense, because if you're cheating on someone, I'm assuming your goal is to not get caught. Wait, no, I just completely made the last sentence I said made no sense. Because if he's on Discord 24/7, that basically means she'll never get caught cheating on him. I'm just completely yapping at this point. But it ended up getting revealed that Aeson was cheating on Mafumafu. So that is absolutely insane. And it seems like the person that she was cheating with was also a victim in this whole situation. Mafumafu ended up calling this person Bison because it looks like he didn't know that this was happening at all. So he probably just thought that he was getting in a relationship with someone he was going to have an amazing time, not knowing that the person that he was dating was already married to a completely different dude. So basically this one girl was just playing with both of these men heartstring. The cheating was so bad that Aeson was giving gifts to Bison during Valentine's Day, and when they first ended up getting married, which ended up happening around Christmas time, so that's extremely wholesome, getting married on Christmas, the next day, December 26th, they planned that, hey, we should go together and do something, go out on a date. She ended up denying that date, saying that she can't do it anymore, just so she can go and hang out with Bison. How do people end up like this? What's the point of you getting married if literally day one you're just going to cheat immediately? Why are you just wasting everyone's time? Like, that is just a crazy level of commitment just to be an extremely horrible person. And we're still not even done. This story keeps on getting worse. I didn't even know it was possible, because the next thing he ended up talking about is that when all of this ended up happening, he went back to the house that he ended up buying and the one that Aeson was living in, and the house was in terrible condition. He said garbage was everywhere, and also she ended up leaving the ashes of one of their pets just completely on the ground. It seems like this was a pet that both of them was raising together. She just completely had the ashes of that pet on the ground. And the last thing that I ended up bringing up is that when all of this drama was finally over, everyone thought that they were in the green and no one had to just suffer anymore. She still wasn't done, because suddenly out of nowhere, on an anonymous forum, someone was just posting crazy things about Mafumafu. Like, one of the things I ended up bringing up is that the account ended up saying that he ended up killing Aeson Cat by slamming him with a door, and just absolutely disgusting stuff like that. Well, when people wanted to look into who owns this account and who is saying stuff like this, they ended up learning that it was Aeson doing it. And the thing to make this even more crazier is that apparently to post on this forum, you need to pay money. So she literally went out of her way to host another account, spend money, just so she could continue talking badly of this guy, which is crazy. I truly thought that Illuminati was going to be the only person who will actually decide to do something like that, but I guess we have another person who did the exact same thing. But yeah, that seems to be the whole situation. And when this news ended up getting revealed on Twitter, it was just absolutely over for Miko Neko. I mean, her career, it was time to pack up. Every single version of her was basically trending for the past couple of days. Everyone was talking about this situation, and her community was just completely betrayed. The amount of people there who was just having a breakdown because this person that they basically thought was this absolutely amazing, wholesome human being ended up getting revealed to be an absolutely terrible person, and the meltdown is still being felt to this day. I'm pretty sure it's over for her. I don't see any way that she could salvage this situation. The only way that something like that could happen is if somehow gets revealed that Mafumafu was lying, but it doesn't really look like something like that is going to happen, so I think it may just be wraps for this VTuber. Anyway, that's it. This is just something that I want to talk about. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night. See ya.